This next one is from Erad Prime, and it caught me the title. The title definitely caught me. Star Citizen's missing features of missing ships. So there's so many features that are not in the game. We were kind of just talking about this in another video we just watched. And it's going to be kind of interesting and fun to kind of look back on all the things that are missing, all the ships that are missing, and the things that are still left to do. It's going to be a lot. Do you hear anything?
It's a fact, guys. There are a lot of missing features in Star Citizen, and one of these features is actually coming in with Star Citizen about 3.20, and that is the extended.
Let's start it from the beginning. We were just talking that there was no. My headphones turned off to say battery,
guys.
I guess.
There are a lot of missing features in Star Citizen, and one of these features is actually coming in with Star Citizen about 3.20, and that is the extended cargo grade, thanks to the introduction of the Hull C. And there's probably going to be a...
Bro, is that a feature? Because we already have that. I wouldn't call that a feature, but I thought he was going to say the vehicle tractor beam, which was right there. That I would consider a feature.
Another of these features coming up later this year with the SRV, and these are going to be ship-mounted tractor beams.
There you go.
So it's great to see that new techs and new features are coming in for ships in Star Citizen, but unfortunately there are quite a few that are still missing, which is why we are not seeing the ships that are featured with those features in the game. And so that's what we are going to be talking about in this video. We are first going to talk about drones, which are important for quite a few ships, including, for example, the Apollo, which is the reason why we haven't seen the Apollo for quite some time. And also,
do you think the drones are the reason we haven't seen the Apollo? I don't think so. I'm not sure why we haven't seen it. I think the Apollo is actually one of the ships that you can argue there's no reason for it not to be in the game currently. What is unique about this ship? Everything that it, I think, was sold that it said it could do is currently in the game, right? You can respawn in it. Oh, maybe it's the modularity of the beds. Do you think that's what's keeping it away? Oh, was it something that you can choose what beds it has? I don't know, but I knew that it had like it had like a tier 2 bed or something, right? Like it was like in between the Carrack and the Cutlass Red. You can get 1 tier 1, 2 tier 2s, or 3 tier 3s. Oh, okay. So it's your choice there. You think it's the lore behind it that's holding it up? They change the lore all the time. That's interesting. Okay, so I think it's maybe more of the modularity aspect. Yeah, probably.
Why we're still missing the Apollo, because they need to work on these drones, which are going to be extremely important to recuperate, for example, people who are in need of medical assistance without necessarily landing in a particular zone that can be dangerous or sometimes, for some cases, even impossible to land. So that really is what makes the specificity.
Bro, what is this? Let me move myself. Look at this little thing the guy's in. Look at that. Where's that?
Here of the Apollo, but the Nautilus is also going to feature drones. The Nautilus, which is a mine layer, but you're not going to be laying those mines yourself, especially you're not going to be recuperating those mines yourself. It's obviously way...
Can you tell I was not interested at all into not at all into the medical gameplay side of things. I never cared. This ship too. This is another ship I paid zero attention to. Mine laying in a game this big never made much sense to me until I started understanding more of what mines and Star Citizen are. They're like little turrets.
Too dangerous, and so that's why there are drones that are supposed to be in this job for you. Speaking of mines, well, that's also maybe the reason why we're not seeing the Nautilus, right? Which is this capital ship sold a while back at a special concierge event with Chris Roberts. Well, the Nautilus is still not even in development right now, still in concept phase, and we're not seeing any images, and we don't have any news about it, unfortunately. And that's because
$675, guys.
Right now, there's just no plan for creating those drones. But the other thing,
$675 for
that seems to be also something that we've been waiting for ever at this point are AI.
It's not even for a PNG. When it makes it in game, all it does is lay mines. An absolute steal. For who? For us or for them? Right? Like, that is one of the... I still, like, just can't comprehend the use case for it in game. That is the one that I just cannot wrap my mind around. Maybe more lately, I can, like, laying mines around a being chased. Just fly around the mine. What do you mean? You know, like camping certain areas or so. It just, I don't know. I just didn't see the. I have a hard time with that ship. Just my personal
now, what
feelings.
are AI blades? These are basically computers that are going to operate the turrets of your ship without necessarily having to hire crews. And again, this is something that CIG has not implemented right now. And apparently, according to what they said, is because of the state of the servers. And it's very easy to just have a look at what's going on with AIs right now when you take a look at the persistent universe, right? It's just not working very well because the GPU is completely saturated with data. The more players spread out around the persistent universe, the less effective the AI.
It would be adding more AI just to our ship and then having to... Oh my god, I wonder how bad it would be having all the communications going back and forth between the server.
AIs are, and so that's why they're not even bothering working on AI blades, probably until server meshing is in and we are finally going to get better AI performances. Now, the next one, we're going to talk about the Legionnaire here. And we're not going to see the Legionnaire until hacking gameplay is finally a thing in Star Citizen, because that's the main point of this ship. The Legionnaire is a boarding craft, but in order to be able to board a ship, you need to be able to enter that ship. And so the whole point of the Legionnaire is to have a hacking station, which is going to let the operator open the door of the ship that needs to be boarded so that then the crew can go inside.
I'm sure he'll address this too. Doesn't this ship connect to like docking collars? The docking collars aren't the same on all ships. They're not functional on 90% of the ships. This was their picture that they sold last year, essentially. That was a really good picture in terms of I mean, I think for me personally, like, what was one of the most exciting things from the Starfield demo? For me, was that you can go up to any NPC ship and connect to it and board it. And maybe they would be friendly, maybe they wouldn't be. You can make that ship your own, right? So that was something that was super exciting. And I think, you know, without knowing that that was a thing in Starfield, CIG also kind of pulled on those heartstrings a little bit, which I thought was really, really, really cool. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they got the idea from Marauders. It might have been out at the same time. But in the end, it was always a thing that I think players wanted, was the ability to board. I don't think we necessarily needed a special ship to do it. You know, how we board ships now, I think is perfectly fine. But this was a very cool ship in terms of like, okay, CIG is looking at the way players want to play the game or the way players are playing the game and giving them this really, you know, special and unique and cool option to make it more fun. And I always thought that this ship was like a cool thing to sell if they put it into production right away, which, you know, they haven't.
Next in...
Yeah, FS9 right now is your hacking. Another thing I don't know if you've ever knew is you can put the I don't know if it still works, but you were able to put the mining gadget onto a door and blast it. And that would do it as well.
Ship shops. Yes, that's also going to be a thing. That's the reason why we're not seeing the Kraken as well as the Banu Merchantman. Well, the Banu...
Yes, the reason we're not seeing the Banu Merchantman and the Kraken is because it didn't have its gameplay. That is objectively just not true. The reason we don't have the Banu Merchantman is they were working on it and they were trying to deliver it, and then 2 people left, quit, got fired, whatever, I don't know, but they are no longer working at the company. The 2 people that were supposed to work on it, they left. That is why. So that the gameplay not being there, them saying that they were not going to deliver the gameplay, deliver ships without their gameplay, was, again, another blatant lie from CIG. And the reason we don't have the Banu Merchantman is not because of that. It's because it's really hard to make big ships, and the 2 people who were capable of doing it left.
Merchantman takes a very long time, right? But that's really the main feature of the Banu Merchantman, the ability to be able to buy massive amount of goods and also be able to sell them in your ship. And so unfortunately, we saw them in concept, but we haven't seen anything in terms of functionality. The next ship here, we did see some functionality, and apparently, according to some rumors from Bar Citizen Hong Kong, if I'm correct, we may hear about it during this year's CitizenCon, and that is the Pioneer, and especially its bespoke base building tool. Now,
seeing something at CitizenCon means nothing.
We know that right now,
I don't have to say anything else.
Games are using a program called Rastar, which is what they are using to put in-game some of the outposts that we can find planet side. But in the future, there is...
Guess what? This video was from CitizenCon 2017, 2018.
To be a player version of Rastar that's going to allow us to design our own outposts that we're going to be able to build thanks to the Pioneer. So this one, I think that we should be able to hear from that pretty soon. And finally, I think that the other feature here that's really missing, that's really important for content creators, and that's why I kept it for the end, the in-game camera recorder for the Reliant Mako. The Reliant Mako, which is the reporter variant of the...
This is the last one? I feel like he's missing something.
Reliant series, and so apparently it has a mounted camera that's going to allow us to record in-game any event that we want to be recording, or maybe races or actions, battles, right?
Yeah, well, repair rearm.
It's going to be... I really wonder how the in-game camera is going to be different compared to the current camera that we have, but just by pressing F4 and then the different options that we have to record footage. I hope that that's going to be something really bespoke and something really practical for at least people who want to create content and share the footage with you guys. So there we have it, guys. These are some features that are missing for...
Yeah, for me, I think repair rearm would be the biggest one that's missing. The drones were like his first, I think, was interesting too, because a lot of ships have drones. I don't know if you guys know, but the Reclaimer has drones as well. Another ship that's in the game. I believe the Carrack has drones. Also. Yeah, scanning with the Terrapin. I mean, certain salvage things. Yeah, the Orion doesn't count because it's not remotely in production. I don't know. There's definitely a few others, but I think the one that would be on my radar the most would be the repair rearm feature, because I think that they're like legitimately capable of delivering it right now. So basically repair is the opposite of salvaging in a lot of ways, or hull stripping, and they could do a lot with that. So yeah, we have refueling, we have, so
the missing
I
ships. If I forgot
happening.
anything, as always, let me know
in
the comment section down below. Also, let me know in the comment section down below which one is the one that you're waiting for the most. As far as I'm concerned, it's definitely the Apollo and its drones. Guys, thank you so much for watching. This content was made possible thanks to the wonderful people who support this channel on Patreon and via the YouTube John membership program. If you want to help out for as little as $1 a month, you can get access to a giveaway as well. You just need to enter your name on Discord. And this month we are giving away a Scorpius Centaurus thanks to Predator Mount. You can also be in for free by joining our video sharing contest. One share gets you one entry. The winner gets maximum entries, which is as much as the people who support on Patreon or via the YouTube John membership program. Guys, I have been Erad. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Dr. Forbin, Zero Crusher, and Deplorable Fidel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
There we go. So that was it. I can hear him click his mouse and end the video. But I think it's always interesting to see all the pieces of the puzzle that are missing, even just from ships. Another thing that's just like general features that are not in the game would be like the gold standard reworks for a lot of ships as well. Just components, inventory, right? A lot of ships are just missing the basic thing, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, I mean, like just basic little things are missing completely from the experience. And that is something that it would be nice to have that on top of all these extra features like mine laying and stuff. I still can't comprehend mine laying, because mine laying is very much a Squadron 42 thing. Like, all right, you have to fly through this minefield because the game, like, would have boundaries and funnel you and stuff like that. Whereas the PU doesn't really have the opportunity to do that as much, right? Like Everspace mines, yeah, they're really cool. Like where they would proximity mines and come after you and stuff. And I think that there's opportunity for it to be there, and it might be pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. But it was a good video, and it's just a good reminder of some of the things that are still to come. Right? There were some other big ships. There's science that's missing. There's probably crafting as well. Now there might be a crafting ship of some kind, and I'm trying to think of the Endeavor with the Hadron Collider thing. Like, what was it going to do? It was going to help you like make your weapons better or something, right? So yeah, like tuning things. Also, just like generally exploration isn't in the game as well. So there's just like everything in the game is missing outside of mining and hull stripping. Like even cargo hauling isn't there, right? So for me, probably the most important thing that's coming is vehicle tractor beams, then repair rearm. Everything else is just extra stupid shit that doesn't necessarily need to be there, but might be cool.